Good morning, brothers and sisters. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you had a restful day and that you're able to get your batteries recharged and started. I know that it's been good for me. I got my stuff done. Two things that are not church related. One is that renowned anime creator Akira Toriyama, or manga writer, mangaka, those are terms that's used. He passed away recently, and it's left a hole in the anime world. I'm a huge fan of anime, and it's a big hit when one of the icons pass away. I just hope that the creator of anime, like of Spirited Away and stuff, I hope he lives a little longer. Anime to me is important in my life. It's one of my outlets that I can enjoy. So, and then a dear sweet friend of mine passed away this week. She was fighting cancer, and it was really sad to see her go. Okay, today we are going to be in 2nd Nephi chapter 24, and we're going to be continuing the prophecy that was started in verse 23. It's called the burden of Isaiah, and it's quite long, and in here it's going to be continuing the dualistic prophecies that Isaiah is famous for. So let's go ahead and continue. Here in verse 1, he says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. For the strangers will be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob." Now here, this is actually was fulfilled. Where is it? In 539, when Cyrus, the king of Persia, overthrew Babylon, and not only freed the exile, but he gave them money to get restarted. This also is being fulfilled both spiritually and in a physical sense, as missionaries who are strangers go out and find Israel and bring them back together. So we are strangers, as in we don't know each other, but we're bringing you back into the fold of Christ, the true church. So we're seeing this fulfilled both anciently and today. And then here, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, yea, far from unto the ends of the earth, and they shall return to their lands of promise. And the house of Israel shall possess them, and the land of the Lord shall be for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captive into whom they were captives. They shall rule over their oppressors." Now that's interesting. Where is it? There was something. Huh. I thought I saw something earlier that talked about this. Because I'm curious about the little. If there's a difference, because it says here, they shall return to their lands of promise, and the house of Israel shall possess them. Okay, he's talking about the lands of promise, the lands that they were given anciently. Or maybe there's new ones. I don't know. We'll find out in the millennium. And then it says here, this is the point of curious that I'm curious about. And the land of the Lord. I've never seen this phrase in the scriptures before. And unfortunately, I can't find anything on what this actually means. If you happen to see anything, can you post it down in the notes? It's a very interesting point. Let's go ahead and continue. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. Now, this is a type of rest that we'll be getting during the millennium. This is what we'll have. And so, this is what it will feel like. No oppressors, and there won't be anything to fear. It will be a completely peaceful, wonderful thing. All right, let's continue. And it shall come to pass in that day that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, and the golden city ceased? Now, the golden city, where is it? The golden city is the Hebrew word translated here probably means something like proud or arrogant. So an arrogant city, proud city, probably the capital of Babylon. Okay, let's go down. Let's see. Number 9 says, hell from beneath is moved from thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from all their thrones all the kings of the nation. And this one, well, I think it's going to be kind of obvious. It's saying that all the rulers, all the people who have oppressed, hell's coming for you. And people, if you look, every nation falls at one time or another. And then they do get built up. I mean, if not, we wouldn't have Egypt. We don't have China. We wouldn't have. There's many nations that are ancient, but all of them at one time have fallen, and they get built up again because people want change. I like this number 10. It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? In other words, they lose their power, they lose their authority, and this is what happens. Everyone falls down, everyone dies. That's what we see here. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave. The noise of thy viols is not heard. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. This happens to us all. And I like this term here, the noise of thy viols. A viol is an old term for harp. So the music of your harps will not be heard. Now, here comes one of the biggest, in my opinion, one of the biggest dual prophecies that Isaiah makes in this chapter at least. He says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? Art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend unto heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend high above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Now, a lot of Christians, when we try and point out this is showing Lucifer fallen, they're like, no, this is not talking about that. Well, remember, Isaiah does dual prophecies. So this one here, let's see, where did I wrote that? Where did I underline that? Okay, so here we go. Now, this is talking about two different people, but it's the same thing. So it's talking about the king of Babylon, how he exalted himself, how he was exalted, but at the same time, it is talking about an event that happened in the pre-mortal world. Lucifer, as we all know, is the enemy, was one of our brothers who got some ego in his heart and decided he wanted to take his glory, or take the glory of God and make it his own. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, no, Lucifer's not my brother. He is. Everyone that it was created, from Yahweh or Jesus Christ to the least of us, were all created in the image of God. There's not a single angel, demon, spirit that was not created by our Heavenly Father. We all belong to the same family. And I know that's blasphemous to the mainstream Christians here, but it's truth. Christ, Lucifer wanted, during the, during the Grand Council, and Elohim, our Father in heaven, asked, who would he send down to earth to die so that all the other children would be able to return, have the opportunity to return? Who would he send? Well, Christ spoke up before anyone else. And I mean, In my eye, I imagine as soon as that question was sent out, spoken from Elohim, Jesus Christ immediately stood up and said, "Send me." And I think that's why we have the term, the love of Christ, because it represents a love that is so strong that you don't even question why you do it. You just do it. And then after Jesus stood up, Lucifer also stood up. And Lucifer, he's kind of an arrogant little jerk. And he said, "No, send me." Now here's the difference. Christ said, "Since I am doing this, let the glory be thine, because this is for your glory." Lucifer, he said, "Well, since I'm doing this, give me the glory. Let the glory that rightfully belongs to you, send it to me. I'll take it." That's what's going on here. He wanted God's glory for himself. He wanted to be deified. In other words, he wanted to be made like God. He wanted to become God through means that was not meant to be. And when God chose Jesus Christ, he got pissed off. He got angry. He rebelled. And that's what the whole war in heaven was about, was we had these two opposing plans. One was, you will have free will. You will be able to choose. And Lucifer, screw your free will. Screw what you want. It will be my way or the highway. Actually, we wouldn't have that choice. We would lose our free will, and Lucifer would receive all the glory. Well, God's smart. Father Elohim is smarter than that. He knew Lucifer's plan, and he went with Christ, because there's nothing more important to our Father in heaven than our free will. It has never been infringed on upon us by God at all. He cannot force us to come to heaven. He gives us the choice, and that's beautiful. But Satan, when he didn't do this, he caused havoc in heaven. And the great war in heaven was not of swords or guns or any weapons. It was done by the testimony of everyone. And at the end, we see here in verse 15, "Yet thou shalt be brought down to heaven, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and shall consider thee, and shall say, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, and made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof? Open not the house of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, yea, all of them, lie in glory, every one of them in his own house. But thou art cast out of the grave." Oh, wait, we're going too far. But Satan was cast out. And the same thing as the king of Babylon. He was brought low. He died. And I don't know the full battle, but I'm guessing he died and is buried and is there right now. And let's continue. let's see. Let's go down to verse 22. It says, "For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, and the remnant, and son and nephew, saith the Lord. And I will make it a possession for the bittern and the pools of water, and I will sweep it from the bosom of destruction." Let's see. Now verse 3, verse 23 is the end of the burden of Isaiah. And so study it some. There's so much there that I'm not gonna cover them all because it's gonna make my video very long, and I like to make my videos, try to make my videos short, so people can enjoy them. Starting in verse 24, and I think it goes into verse 27. Yeah. Isaiah turns his attention over to Assyria. And he says here in verse 25 here, it says, "That I will bring the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountain tread him underfoot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders." So it seems like that God will accept Assyrians to come in, and he'll give them peace if they come into him. And then in verse 29 to the end, it's talking about Palestine. And the firstborn of the poor shall feed, the needy shall lie down in safety, and I will kill thy root from famine, and he shall slay thy remnant. Now here, he's saying that Palestine, where is it? Palestine will be left without ancestral root or a progeny. In other words, they're not going to have any. Their old men will die, and their future will die. So, and then at the very end, 32, it says, "What shall then answer the messenger of the nations? That the Lord hath founded Zion, and the poor of his people shall trust in it." So God's going to create he's going to send his messengers. He's going to find Zion, which he does. He is the founder of Zion. And his poor shall trust him. And finally, the Lord of God shall trust his people. So, all right. So that's going to be the chapter 24. Tomorrow is chapter 25. And I'll let you in on a little secret. There's no Isaiah. This is Nephi. Straight Nephi. We get a break from Isaiah for a day, and then we get to go into more Isaiah after this. So go ahead and study up, see what Nephi reads. This is another long one. It's going to be 30. So Nephi is so much easier to understand than Isaiah. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Remember, I love you guys. I pray for you. And I hope that as you study the gospel, that you may find his truth in this church, and that your walk with Christ can be the most joyous thing in your life. You guys have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for another Scripture of the Day.